Max, Chiew, thanks for joining me today. You are both a part of groups at NewHope, and we'd just love to hear from you some of your experiences of leading in groups and being a part of a group over this past year and in the years previous to that. And I'd just love to hear, Max, from you what your experience of being part of a group is like and what you love about your particular group.
I have been in many groups, in many places, in many churches, and in management groups, of course, in an organisation. It just speaks to relationships. And without relationships, I don't think life holds all that much. And there's a lot of things about God I don't understand, but this one thing I do is that God is relational and he puts relationships on the top of the agenda. And groups speak to me of building and maintaining relationships and the growth that comes out of that for everybody involved. So it's all about relationships.
That's great, Max. And then for you, Chiew, what do you love about your group?
Well, like Max, I've been in groups ever since being a young adult. So we started off as a young adult in a different church at a different time of our life. But coming to Australia and being part of New Hope, it's being with a group of families that's just doing life together. We are in a similar season in our lives. We all started with young children attending junior kids church at that time. And it just brought us together, being in church, encouraging one another and being able to support one another and having our kids and families hang out with one another. So that was really good as we journey together as well. And being in this lockdown especially, I think this is an extension of our family, to be able to have an online family who meets regularly, who are able to support one another through Zoom calls as well as through our WhatsApp chat groups.
Tell us, Chiew, why do you decide to devote time in your week to your group?
Coming to meet with other people, like-minded people, not just to study God's word, but to seek encouragement, to encourage others, building connections in a church environment through small group help us to have more friendships and relationships, and getting the support that we need, not just physically, not just our well-being, but also spiritually as well.
And Max, for you, why is it that you decide to devote time to your group in your life?
I think the simple answer is I need it. I see something about the whole way that quote unquote church is done. There isn't much interactivity. Sometimes when you or Alan or Katrina is preaching, I feel like putting up my hand and saying, hey, but what about such and such? And get some interchange. What I need, my mind is running off into all sorts of rabbit trails. But I can retain that. And when I come into a group, as we practice to review and look at and talk about the messages that we've received, we can ask our questions there and we can get interchange from other people, not theologians or preachers, ordinary people like us. And from that interchange, there is tremendous blessing to hear how someone else thinks about something that is of issue or interest to me. That's very valuable to me.
The particular parts of you that have been made new through your group experience?
Well, Lance, I don't necessarily see that growth is as much as, shall we say, progress, just gentle progress of things that are of value to me. But as I look back in my memories, there is no doubt that what has happened with groups stand out in my memories. That tells me that these things are of great significance. And I can say it because of this COVID thing. We haven't met, but we've met on Zoom, and that has its strengths too. And just being able to share and being able to listen and hear what other people think about the same particular subject is of great value, and it does produce growth and development. There is no doubt about it.
All of us have a lot of hurdles that might prevent us from being able to engage really well in the group setting or joining a group. What are some hurdles for either of you that real and exist in your life, but you're looking to manage so that you can continue to connect with your group?
The greatest hurdle is the requirement for vulnerability. The deeper we go into a relationship, it's more or less measured by the vulnerability there is between us. For instance, I sit with a group and think, man, can I really tell them that? Should I tell them that? Are they going to be careful with that information that I'm sharing? I'd love them to pray for that, but will they keep it? And that then, as vulnerability, produces trust. And trust and vulnerability, I think, are the getting deeper and deeper into the real essence of the value of a group. And so those two things stand out to me as absolutely essential. And that's where the growth takes place. It's in deep vulnerability and the deepening of trust.
For us, the biggest challenge is perhaps the time and energy. So both my husband, Eric, and I, we work, and we've got young kids as well, one in uni and one in high school now. So lots of social activities. There was pre-COVID times, and, just running around. So by the time Friday comes, we are just all tired out and from running around, and it's so easy to just sit back and say, oh, we want to chill. And because we meet on a Friday, it sometimes get the better of us, in terms of, oh, can we do the study tonight? It's really needing the energy from us. But time and time again, once we've decided that, we need to be committed and go for the study and be there and be for the members, the Lord blesses us in our time there. We are so refreshed from the encouragement and just by supporting one another, and also through the word and what the Lord reveals to us on our meetings. And then we are blessed as well. And our energy somehow, that's like replenished all the time, always.
And last question, I'd love to hear, Max, from you. Just a significant experience that has happened for you in being part of a group.
When somebody says something about themselves, not in a study, but in a sharing time, something that is very deep, and it's so obvious to all of us that she's sharing her heart here. She's trusting us with stuff. She's inviting us to be a part of her life in praying for her. She's valuing our prayer and our input. To me, that is pure gold. And like you lads, I might go thinking, oh man, it's group. I've got to get ready for group. I always come away feeling that was so good. And I think it's because the blessing is mutual. The one who is prayed for and the one and who is vulnerable enough to be asking for prayer, and the ones who pray and reach out. There is blessing the whole way through. And that is very, very valuable.
We suffered a few losses last year. So the loss of one of our group members who is relatively young over in a very short time period. That unfortunate experience brought us all closer together to be able to journey during that difficult moments and the difficult chapter that the family faces. For myself as well, I lost my mom unexpectedly last year, and the group has just been tremendous support, especially when I had to travel overseas to be with my mom. The group here had continued to provide that support to my family here. This year, COVID definitely has affected our group. There's been job loss, job insecurities, challenges at work, business downsizing, and just being able to come together as a group to talk about it, to pray about it, helping each other to just, encourage and hanging in there, just helps us to just get through this difficult time, and hopefully, we'll be able to come out of it soon and better. We're doing a study now, the power of God's name, from Lifeway Church, that they are doing it online. And it's just been amazing to see the growth of the members as well. being able to pray and call on God's various names, and internalizing that in their prayer and in their personal faith.
And maybe you're thinking about wanting to join a group. You can do that through the New Hope website. All you need to do is connect with our website, newhope.net.au, go to the link at Join a Group, and then you can click through to look at a number of our groups that are open and available, and would love to have you join them. There's different age categories, there's different locations. And so if you are considering joining a group, why not jump on our website and consider a group that you might be able to join this week. Well, Max, Chiew, thank you so much for being a part of New Hope Calling today. We wish you and your group well in the weeks to come. May God continue to lead you. Thanks for being a part of this conversation today. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Lance. Thanks, Max.